What's going on, Instagram and friends? What's going on? It's Talented Tuesdays, airing every Tuesday at 8 p.m. As you can see, it's not 8 p.m., but we got a little special event today where we're going to start a little bit early. I'm your host, Kai Speaks, a.k.a. Mr. 215, a.k.a. King Cheney. And we got my man over here, Just John.
Just John. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Everybody's doing good. We're going to introduce them in a little bit, but real quick, I just want to do some housekeeping, like I always do. You know, keep that comment section positive, keep the negativity out of there. We want people to feel comfortable with expressing their opinions, feel comfortable with asking questions and things like that. Also, don't forget to follow our nonprofit page at TGK_Foundation, as well as if you missed episodes like Talented Tuesdays this week, you can always go on our YouTube channel at Kai Speaks TV, where you can catch past episodes and things like that. But without further ado, I'm going to pass the floor to my man John to introduce himself, tell a story a little bit about where he's from and how he got to where he is right now.
Yeah, cool. So my name is Just John. I'm a spoken word artist from Miramar, Florida, currently residing at FIU. Shout out to my Panthers. I'm a communications major, broadcast media, with hopes to own my own radio station one day. So I'm currently interning with that and DJing, helping out my boy Mari. Shout out to DJ Mari for helping me get ready with my DJing and stuff like that. And yeah, man, it's just poetry has been a blessing for me, bro. I got some shows coming up for February. It's Love Month and it's Black History Month, so it's some dope shows that are coming out soon. And yeah, just working on pieces, bro. Constantly writing every day, trying to get better.
That's what's up, man. And I think it's a coincidence that, well, it's not a coincidence that Black History Month, like you said, also falls in the same month as Love Month.
True.
It's just, Black love is very important. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Exactly.
But, I got some questions for you. And, as y'all tuning in, feel free to use the comment section to ask questions. If you feel like I missed anything to ask John,
please ask.
Comment right there. I got the other phone now so I can see those questions coming. And I ain't got to turn my head like this.
Yeah.
We got it sideways.
Who joined?
So, all right. So the first question was, how long have you been doing poetry?
Sheesh. So I've been a spoken word artist since my senior year in high school, which has been 3 years now. Now that I think of it, that's crazy. It feels like it was just the other day. But I've been writing poetry since I was young, bro. Since I was in middle school, elementary school. I used to always tell people I would just write letters because I didn't know how to express myself through speaking. Now it's how ironic how I didn't know how to put my words together in person, so I would just write it down and say I had a girlfriend that I was in love with or I really had feelings for her. I couldn't say it to her, so I would just put pen to paper and write it to her, or write it a little note, or would you date me, yes or no, and circle yes if you want to date, and give it to her. So I've been writing poetry since I was young, man. But my senior year was that breaking point that pushed me to I want to get on stage and I want to express this and actually show people my talent. So
and I think it's funny that you mentioned how you had a hard time expressing yourself, as a lot of Black males do, just period. Males have a harder time expressing themselves when it comes down to male and female. And that's why it's so important that we find different ways to express ourselves, because we can't do it verbally or face to face with another person. So those other means of communication, like poetry, or some people know how to express themselves through dance. You got rap, you got all kinds of different ways for us to express ourselves verbally, but different forms of it. So it's definitely important that you find your vehicle and find a way for you to get your point across. And
definitely.
I mean, it's also ironic that I had that same high school wasn't my breaking point. For me, it came a little later for college, because I was still feeling a little shy about my poetry, which is the next question. Was there times where you felt real shy about sharing your pieces, and you didn't know if this was good enough for you to share, or you just don't want to share, period, it's fire?
Facts. So I always tell this story, and I'm gonna sum it up and make it quick, but I always tell this story. When I was in high school, what got me to start writing poetry was there was a poetry club. Shout out to Miss Clarendon. She started it at Miramar High School, and we would just write whatever. But before I even joined, they would push me like every day. They would like, it was people, members of the club, Queso, like this girl named Autumn. They would hit me up and be like, yo, like come out to the poetry club. And I would always be like, man, it's poetry. Like you said, like, man, it's just poetry. Like, you know, it's nothing like crazy. And so every day I would push them off, whatever. And like it got to the point where like I kept like ducking them because I didn't feel like, it got to the point where I didn't feel like I was good enough. But then like a competitive factor kicked in me when like one day I seen one of my boys that they were also trying to recruit to the poetry club. He was spitting like a rap to my teacher, like in her office. And I was like, damn, like he's fire. I was like, damn, he's fire. But like, I got something for y'all, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I got something that I could spit for y'all. So I ended up, that competitive side kicked in me and made me like not be afraid to like voice that. I know like the pressure, like you was talking about how black males, it's hard for us to like speak up and like speak out and finding like what it is that you can like express yourself through. It's that vulnerability. It's that as males and especially black males, like there's pressures on us to be strong and independent and not have to worry about nobody and be able to fend for ourselves. Right. So not being able to be vulnerable to like in society and like to other people is like, damn, like, but breaking that barrier comes from like arts forms and like dance, singing, rapping, poetry. I feel like that breaks the barrier. That's why so much people can like voice and get so like strong points across through like hip hop and black music, because not just black music, like music in general, but specifically black, because it's even more of a pressure of being black. You feel me? So like just being vulnerable through art is what makes it so passionate and so like, you feel me, like so meaniful. So I feel like
what you're saying.
Yeah.
So shout out to Hersha for tuning in, and Everyday Panda, PNDA. Thanks for tuning in. Hersha had a couple questions for you. So his first question was,
shout out, man.
So do you think your poetry challenged the way you think of your masculinity?
Fire, first of all. I feel like at first I thought of it as challenging because I was like, first of all, I was a ball player before anything. Right. I was like, ball was life for me. So transition from being an athlete to poetry was like, whoa, like that's like some High School Musical, like Zac Efron, like, okay, like you playing ball, but you actors too, like, you feel me? So like, it was like, damn. So it definitely challenged my masculinity and it challenged my mindset, but it also brought it to the lighter side of like, I can be that voice for the dudes that don't have the courage to challenge that society's viewpoint of masculinity. You feel me? So like I could be the voice of dudes that feel some type of way about a girl or feel some type of way about society or have a mindset on this and like can't say it. So I put it into words, and a lot of dudes at times, like I have this one poem called Bullets with like it's 3 girls and it's me, and like I'm battling like the girls' point of view on like why dudes ain't like, they ain't no good, and then I'm battling the dude side of why girls ain't no good. Right. And like, I know so much feedback I got from dudes was like, no, I didn't know how to say that to girls, but like, I just send them your poem and like, they literally like, you said everything I had to say. And I was like, dang, yo, like that means so much to me. Like, so like, yeah, it challenged my masculinity, but I literally channel that now. And I'm like, okay, like the society might challenge my masculinity because I do poetry, but at the same time, like I can make this be something that's powerful and meaningful for other people that they can finally break out of that. So, yeah.
It's all about the message that you put in the poetry. And with that being said, Herson's next question had to do about the message. So, what do you want your audience to get out of your poetry?
Okay. I leave it open for interpretation, definitely, because there's a lot of times where I might be speaking, for example, I might be speaking about love. And I might be talking about a girl and how much I'm in love with this girl. But in all reality, like sometimes, most of the time, my poems and music have a hidden metaphor where like the girl might actually be a stage that I'm talking about. So like for me to like express that through poetry, I leave it up for interpretation. Like the one person might take it as like, oh, he was talking about a girl and like how he was in love with her, and like that's the message I got from it. And some people might have peeped that like, oh damn, he was talking about a stage. Like, so like I leave it up for interpretation. I let people like grasp what they can grasp. But as far as like the message that I try to get across, I just let my words be a vessel from God, to be honest. Like a lot of times, like sometimes I'll be sitting in my bed or in the shower and a line will hit me. And it's like, come on, man, like I ain't just think of that myself sometimes. Like it'd be powerful stuff and I'd be like, dang, like, you know, so I try to like always like give thanks to God definitely for like giving me this ability to be able to speak on it, because I wasn't always like this, like I said. So so it was a blessing for me. So that's what I try to get across, and the messages that I give to people, just leave it open for interpretation. You know,
that's a very good message. You know, people like to twist their own, put their own thought into apply their own knowledge and their own thought into messages, and that's pretty much like with the Bible, the Quran. That's what those are meant for anyway. You're supposed to take those lessons and apply it to how you really need to apply it for your life. Everybody try to take it as one word, and you know that's where the translation gets lost.
Bro, you spitting right now. No, gee, like I think of it as like it's a guideline. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it's so much people that like you said, like misinterpret certain words, and the way words are put in a certain way is like most, like the English language in general can get misinterpreted just from a different word that you use in a sentence. So yeah, man, it's guidelines. Definitely.
Definitely guidelines. So all right, so do you have any like influencers, like favorite artists, favorite poets that really influenced your style and your craft?
Facts. I got a couple. I'm not gonna shout out all of them because like, because you know, of course my all-time favorite rapper, most important influence to me is J. Cole. I keep telling people one day if I sign to anybody it'll be Dreamville. So I like definitely big ups to J. Cole. J. Cole is a strong influence in my life, not only in my music but just how I go about my everyday life. Another person is Wale. Wale to me back in the, I know Wale, some people might be like Wale is whack now, but like Wale is a poet, bro. Wale is a poet. Like whether people think his music fell off or whatever, like wherever he's at now in this stage in life, that boy, his music is always impactful and like it always has a hidden message behind it. So Wale and J. Cole was two people in the music industry that was like big. Now as far as like the smaller people, this one battle rapper, just the flow and the delivery of Tay Rock. He's a battle rapper for URL. If you find him on YouTube, yo, his delivery is insane. Him and Charlie Clips, two people that like I feel like have a strong influence on just stage presence, and not even like so much my content, but just like owning a crowd, owning a stage, bro. Like taking control. You feel me? Yeah, bro. And then poetry, of course. Not only like my community of poets that are around me, like locally, but like this one dude named Rudy Francisco. He's on Button Poetry. He's amazing, bro. Just overall amazing dude. So yeah.
She said J Rock and who? Charlie Clips?
Tay Rock, yeah.
Tay Rock and Charlie Clips?
Charlie Clips. Those are two battle rappers. They actually battled each other once. They battled each other twice. And like one of the best battles of all time, bro.
I might have to look that
up. I'll send it to you, bro. It's crazy.
So all right, so what are some long terms that you have for yourself? Some goals that you might have set for the rest of this year and then beyond?
Okay. This year, I told myself, it's crazy, I told myself 2018, I made it a statement that I wasn't going to do no more free shows. Now, mind you, like, that's not true. I'm going to do free shows because, like, I like to give back to the community and to people, and I love performing, so like not all the time am I gonna get paid. Anyway, poetry is a passion of mine, so like the music is just an addition. I mean the money is just an addition to it, you know what I'm saying? But 2018, bro, I started getting paid. I made that my goal, and I started getting paid for shows. Like mind you, I'm also gonna do free things, but that was like a short-term goal of mine that I wanted. And then long-term, bro, I eventually want to get to open up my own venue and open up my own place where people can come and perform and workshop and work on their craft, because I feel like the best art comes from like having an atmosphere of people around you that can also, I'm not saying somebody has to sit on my side and write for me, but like how they say Drake has ghostwriters. He might not have a ghostwriter that literally writes it for him, but he has a team around him that will tell him like, hey, that line was hot. Yeah, that line, not so much, bro. Take that out. Let's do something else with that. So, like, having a team of people, an atmosphere of creatives around you makes your art just that much better. So,
Yeah, and two things I wanted to just touch on what you said, like with the forms of payment, like you may not even notice it, but you might, if it ain't money, you might be getting paid off of something else, like you might be getting paid off of exposure, like you do that one show and then now you got that leads to someone else who's willing to pay you, like you might do a free show here, but you don't know who's in the crowd, and that person come up to you and is like, hey, how much do you charge for you to do that same thing at my venue or something like that? So that's just something that you can just look forward to in the essence itself. And then another thing, you ever see The Secret? Dog, check out The Secret. Yeah, it's a documentary. Check it out on Netflix. But it's basically about owning your truths and like your absolutes and your affirmations. Like tell yourself that's going to happen. Like I'm going to do this by this. I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this amount by this period, and it's going to happen because our minds are so powerful that like we send frequencies out into the air that have to bring back what we put out to the universe. So if you angry all the time, you only going to have bad and worse days. But if you always positive, thinking forward, like thinking what you try and get, is going to come. Like every day, once I seen this movie, every day I told myself I was going to have this certain parking spot when I pull up to work. I pulled past the parking spot, it's there. I got to go to Dunkin' Donuts, get my breakfast. I'm like, don't worry, it's going to be there when I come back. And it's there. Like, so for the last week, every day, my parking spot been there. And that's just something small. Just to tell yourself that this shit really worked.
I feel you. So, like, to piggyback off you real quick, like, that's crazy. Like, speaking things into existence. Like, my mama tells me that all the time. Like, be careful. Your tongue has the power of life and death. Like, what you say happens. Like, whether you believe it or not. So, like, when you put things out into the world, the energy you put out is what you're gonna get back every time. Like, whether you like it or not. And two, like, when I go to shows, I don't just perform and like dip. Like, I stay afterwards and I try to meet managers and I try to meet people. And always my goal when I go to a show is I go to a show and perform in hopes to get another show out of that performance. Every time, whether it's paid, not paid. So that was a good point that you made. Yeah.
And that's a good point that you even made at the end. Just you always looking for what next, what now.
Facts.
You got another question on here. A couple questions. Where do you usually perform at?
So lately it's been a lot of Miami-Dade and Broward County, Wynwood area, but last semester I actually took what I like to call my college tour. So I went through like FIU, FAU, UM, Broward College, Dade, Miami-Dade, and I just went and I was performing at different schools, like different colleges, and that was crazy, man. I was performing like every week at a different school. So it's been college campuses, Miami-Dade and Broward. I went to Tallahassee and performed. I'm trying to get out of Florida as soon as possible, though, man. I'm trying to
expand, get your wings out there.
I'm trying to be going to Texas and going to Washington and shit, Canada. You feel me?
It's like your mama said, put it out there and it's gonna happen. Yeah.
Right.
Hurston's other question was, have you ever performed at Speak Fridays?
Yeah, so Speak Fridays is one of my spots that I go to on a regular. It's in Wynwood. It's every like second Friday. You can follow Speak Fridays. But yeah, I be over there all the time, like at the Lightbox and just being a house poet. So they got me there. I come through and perform, and it's always a dope atmosphere out there, bro.
Dope.
Yeah.
So we got this little icebreaker. So red pill or blue pill? So the red pill would be you take the red pill, you get to go forward 10 years, but you up $5 million. The blue pill is you go back 10 years, but you know everything that you already know now. What would you rather take, the red pill or the blue pill? Red for forward, blue for back.
Damn. So I take the red pill, I go forward 10 years, but I make $5 million. But I lose 10 years of my life because I went forward. I'd have to take the backwards, bro. Not so much like I'm taking it because the lesser of two evils. Because to me, like, not even so much lesser of two evils. Both of them, I feel like, to me, is a win-win. But I feel like going backwards, the more time I have, for me, is the better. And like, because that's the more you can learn. And then, of course, like, if I go back 10 years or 5 years with the knowledge that I have now, like, who knows where my craft could be, you feel me? So, like, who knows where anything that I had and put into could be. So, Yeah, most definitely. I would take the blue pill. Was the 5 years back. Yeah.
So like that was the consensus. Like I try to ask that question every week, and most people say the blue pill too, because a lot of people was confident that, you know, if I could go back 10 years knowing what I know now, I could make more than 5 million. Yeah, I could make more than 5 million easily.
Facts.
So yeah, that's definitely the consensus so far. Everybody taking the blue pill.
That 5 million sounds sweet though. I ain't gonna lie.
It's used to entice you to say, you know what, I'm gonna take that 5 million.
But that's a settle for me, bro. It's a settle, cause me, I don't do it for the monetary. So like that 5 million, like you said, like I could have settled on 5 million, but you see artists do this all the time, where like they make a record deal for 5 million, but they could have made 100 million if they kept doing what they was doing. So it's like you never know.
So this is a reflection of where you are today. So what steps did you take to make yourself known or to get to where you are at this moment?
Sheesh. Man, I say the social media game is cool, and like social media, like it's important nowadays, especially because of the way like digital media is going and things like that. But performance, bro. Performance to me is everything. Like you can be the dopest rapper on SoundCloud and IG and stuff, but if I see you perform in person and you're whack, you're forever gonna be whack to me. You feel me? Like that's why, like, no disrespect to 21 Savage, but to me he's not like, he dropped as one of the rappers for me, because I seen him perform live and it was like, yo, you're not just just talking. Yeah, it was like, yo. So me, like, I try to make sure every performance, because that's live and in action, like you're forever gonna remember a great performance. Like good songs come and go, you know what I'm saying? Good songs are here and there, but like a great performance, you'll forever remember that. That's why, like, I feel like Bruno Mars won as many Grammys as he won this year, and he's gonna be a legend, bro. He's gonna be a legend the way he's headed, like the projectile, because his performance is so amazing, bro. Like, so that's what I feel like for me is most impactful, and what I try to focus on when I make my music and stuff. Even when I'm making music or poems, it's like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, I write a line down, I'm like, how would that sound performing it? You know, so
you basically just applied yourself in a nutshell. So do you have any advice for, you know, this, after our talents inspire our youth, this is for the youth to inspire them, and not just the youth, to inspire others as well, but do you have a message or anything that you want to let people know to keep them going, to make sure that they on the right track?
Facts. I'd say be authentic, man. I was just talking to my girl Desiree about that today, and I had moments in time, even like this week, where I had to take a break from writing or making music, because I was like, man, what am I doing this for? And at times you're gonna question that, and at times you're gonna be going through the motion. And like, I go to performances and I perform, I know my stuff is hot, but I'd be like, what am I doing this for? Like, and I literally wrote down a list. And when the materialistic outweighs the non-materialistic things, you start to like wonder, like, dang, like, am I doing this for the fame and the money, or am I doing this because it genuinely makes me happy? So I'd say keeping that authenticity in your music and in your poetry, and not only that, like any art form, anything that you do, keeping that authenticity, because people listen to that. People love to tell, like, that's why the people love like storytellers, and they love the J. Cole's and the Chance the Rappers, because they make it so specific to their life, and their music is so like I catch myself singing Chance the Rapper songs, and he talks about 79th Street in Chicago, and I be feeling like I'm from there because the way he raps it. Like, the name's just John, so you know that I'm the man. I could beat a grizzly bear with my bare hands. I'm a half step away from greatness. I got bars on top of bars on top of bars, but no metaphor can be wasted. I'm so fly. I moonwalk and change the moon's phases. And everybody in the room's facial expressions say this, and I don't say this to sound famous. It's just, if you're comparing me, apparently there can't be no comparison here. Your side of the Venn diagram's probably empty, and my side is full and clear, so bullet points are transparent. See, I'm next to the throne. Home alone, I'm my brother's keepers. I'm guessing they see the hair in me, because I'm what kings dread. What queens would wed if they had happened to have a chance with this rapper. And every night with me could be your fairy tale. Every night with me could be your happily ever after. Every moment full of laughter, I'd keep you running back. And I'd carry your heart, cause with me it could never shatter. I never fumble, I got hands like Randy, and I'd single-handedly gift wrap you the globe and give you everything that matters. Propose to you with a ring like Saturn's, and if you ever feeling lonely, hold me, I'd wine and dine you, let you test heaven's gates, just so we can live in holy matrimony. How could I ever be fake? I steal the logo from Tony, I'll forever be great. This for those that don't know me, just John. So I got this other piece for y'all. I don't know if anybody's ever been in love before, but this piece is inspired by Will, the real one. Yeah, man. It's called For Your Heart. For your heart, girl, I'd probably lose my own. I'd kick my own organs out just so yours can have a home. I'd stay up late at night just to hear your sleepy voice through the telephone like, baby, you know I got work in the morning, right? For your heart, girl, I'd become a slave to minimum wage. I'd sell all my J's, delete my social media page, fly to the moon just to change the phase for you. Just so you could shine. Shine like a star, cause to me, you're the closest thing. I'd take this mic from off stage and place it by your heart just to hear that caged bird sing. For your heart, girl, I'd buy the fattest diamond ring to propose to you. Expose any dude that ever tried exposing you. I'd steal Beauty and the Beast's rose for you. I'd cut off Cinderella's 10 toes just so you could keep both her glass slippers. And yeah, I watch Disney princess movies. But that's only if she'd watch it with me, and I'd always put myself in your shoes, even if the shoe doesn't fit me or so pretty you make my jaw drop like 50. For your heart, girl, I'd climb Niagara Falls and fall off just to fall for you. And that's a long fall, but I just need a girl like you, whose coochie can never be sushi even when I hit it raw. For your heart, girl, I'd catch a case for you. I'd get sprayed with mace, run across a NASCAR race with tied shoelaces, jump into an ocean and get jellyfish things to the face for you. And after all that, I'd probably look like the ugliest dude in the world. But next to you, I'm the luckiest. Every time I'm around you, my heart drops, so I swear I'm the clumsiest. But you out your damn mind if you think I'm doing any of this without you doing it too. Cause for me to chase your heart, girl, you gotta chase mine too. Sheesh. Alright. And this last piece was inspired by any high school education system. It's called Caution. It's about like construction work and how we need to better our high school systems and what we're doing just nowadays with the whole schools and institutions and kids that are suffering from standardized testing and how they have to get penalized for not knowing how to answer a multiple choice question, but they can't get out into the real world and know what it's like, what life is like in the real world. So this piece is called Caution. When I woke up early every morning, I didn't know we'd be taking part in construction. I would backpack with the tools to survive through the day and drag like gorilla arms scraping the sidewalks. We were raised from cinder blocks, so John don't even kiss his mom's goodbye anymore. He's too hard for that. It became a place where my peers care more about fashion sense than having sense, and ever since made sense of making a school lunch living off corners of corridors and dealing cards. Our high schools are full hallways holstering son of a guns who never seen a leather belt before. And like childhood beatings, I now understand the significance of being taught a lesson, the breaking down of material, because when it's not reinforced correctly, it sounds just a whole lot like drills. No wonder we use earphone jacks hammered in our ears to tune them out. I sat in classrooms with teachers who hate teaching. Felt like screeching in ears with chalk on chalkboards. You would think we wouldn't use those anymore. You would think we wouldn't still sit still in rows with wooden desks, expecting us to face forward in uniform here, complete these standardized tests because it's killing what we call creativity. She's all we have left. She's more informative than any article I could ever read. She's probably the type of class I could pass with no book. She's all the answers I'd ever need. She'd be the blueprints behind my building. not just his story, subjected through marginalized texts. Like, how can we learn all about the reigns of the Roman Empire but still won't know the last name of Malcolm X? But it's the little things. Like how English class didn't teach me as much about English as arts taught me to articulate. Let's face it, our classroom structures are failing students because of a system that rather detain them, create complicated curriculums, than expect us to regurgitate the information. In prisons, use third grade test scores to predict incarceration rates. And black students fail more than any other race. So don't tell me there's no correlation. It's a fact. Steel without a foundation are just bars, and we're just trying to bridge the gaps. I kept coming back, doing the same things, expecting different results. But that's insanity. I want to walk into a bathroom where the walls and the stalls don't reek with profanity. Instead, this art piece is to stimulate the beauty of anatomy. And I know humanity might have been formed from apes, but that doesn't mean we should still have a planet still full of them walking the halls with gorilla arm syndrome, cemented to being present because we have to. I want to be able to kiss my mom's goodbye every morning without disturbing the peace. Or walk through the hallways without having to worry about my soul being creased. I want to wake up to take part in construction every morning, knowing that I'm going to shape out a masterpiece. Thank you.